important from the get-go to establish that I'm a real person in the class. I'll respond to them, I'm interested in them, and I'm invested in their educational journey here at Daytona State. And of course, part of that is communication. More frequently log into the class. They know I'm watching them. They know I'm there for them. They know that I'm leaving consistent and reliable feedback in a timely manner. So I think it helps students to log in a little bit more. I think they're a little more careful about how they do in their assignments. They read the directions a little bit more thoroughly. Again, because there's a presence of an instructor there. There's a person there coaching them. Even if I'm not there with them physically, I think just the presence of constantly interacting with them encourages them to be a little bit more present themselves in the course.
I make it a point to, at the very beginning of the semester, very first day, discuss substantive interaction and what that means to me, but then what that will also mean to them, so that it becomes part of our vocabulary, so that they understand that they should be checking in at the very least once a week. And many of them will check in more than that. So it's just once a week, ensuring that we understand that we're going to be connecting with each other in some way. The second thing that I try to do is I try to keep everything that I communicate 4 S's: short, sweet, simple, and sustainable. So at the very outset, I don't try to communicate some super long message to them, 4 or 5 paragraphs, because then that creates this expectation for me, and then also for them. They might actually be a little overwhelmed. So I try to create or set the tone early on so that they know I'm not going to overwhelm them with a lot of writing.
I think the best thing to do as professors is we need to give the most immediate feedback that we can. So I always tell my students that they're going to receive feedback at least within 1 or 2 days of that submission date, and to look for that feedback, especially in the case if they have to make revisions. I think the more that we can to communicate to students about what is expected, and they'll raise to those expectations.
I have a communication paragraph where I tell them which communication and how to communicate. My preference, mostly email, because I'm not always in the office. Email is probably the quickest way. I also set the expectations that I will email them back within a 24 to 48 hour time span. Most of the times I try to email back as soon as I see the email. Again, if it's an easy reply. If I have to make a video for an email, it takes a little longer. I also communicate with my students that it takes me about a week to grade either assignments, discussions online, or tests. So all these expectations from me, and I expect from my students to use certain things to get in touch with me.
So for an example, I do have a statement within the syllabus that directs them on when they will receive that feedback from me, how they will receive that feedback from me, how they can communicate with me and interact with me, and where. And it's also the best times for them to reach out with me. I let them know that they will be monitored. All of their activities will be monitored. This is stated within the syllabus directly.
I use the communication portion of my syllabus to let students know not only what my expectation is from them, but what they can expect from me. A lot of times in the syllabus, we just think of it like, here's what you need to do, and here's what I expect from you. But it's also a place for students to be able to expect from me. And so I use that to let them know what the turnaround time is going to be on communication, how they can communicate with me, and I also let them know what the expectation is of when they can receive feedback for any assignment or discussion or anything that they've submitted.
Information that I think will be important is at the very top of the course schedule. So even if, as part of the syllabus, everything's important in the syllabus, but most students won't read. everything in the syllabus, they'll either hit the grade section, but then when they get to the course schedule, that is probably one of the most important sections for students. And then I will post there information about substantive interaction, when and how often they can expect to hear from me, so that they have from the very first day expectations about our ability to communicate with one another and how receptive and open I am to them and to hearing from them, and then how much they'll hear from me.
So I think a lot of times what happens is because it is an online course, students may feel as though they do not have direct contact with their professor. But for me, I do this within my welcome video so that not only do they see me and hear my voice, but they know what is expected of them.
I know a lot of students tend to be a little nervous, overwhelmed, don't know what to expect at the beginning of the semester. So what I really like to do is I actually like to create a welcome video for my class, and I use this kind of as a fast track form of the syllabus, because we know that students, when there's a lot of chaos at the beginning of the semester, they don't always read the syllabus, or they'll just breeze right over it. So if I could get them to watch a welcome video, I include those important policies and important information from my syllabus in that video. So of course, part of that is establishing hearing from me directly, when they can expect to hear from me and how they can communicate best for me.
I use my welcome video to connect with the students and let them know there's a face to all of that information behind the syllabus and within the course. And so within that, I always hope that the welcome video is going to connect them to that language in the course that talks about how I'll communicate, what they can expect from me. So that's one of the best ways I've found to use the welcome video.
I started with this widget last semester, and students really have easy access to me. I only created one link in Teams for my virtual office hours, so all they have to do is click on enter my virtual office and they will be in the office hour. I list my virtual office hours as well as my in-person office hours. I hold several in-person office hours here in this office. So students have easy access to get in touch with me, to communicate with me. Even if I have in-person office hours, students can still talk to me on Teams. They just click on this one link. What they usually do is they send me an email. I know you have in-person office hours, but can I see you on Teams right quick? I have one question, and that's not a problem at all. So students really, I think, really like this new widget that I found, and also how to use it. Well, first of all, it's very easy to maintain because I copy it from one course to the next, so that is the easy part now that I've created this widget. In the beginning, once I found it, I was a little unsure of how to add the link, the Teams link, but I went to the fine people in the Faculty Innovation Center who helped me set up the widget, and now it's easy, and I just copy it over, make the changes to office hours, and no, it's easy once you set it up.
The other part that I also would encourage fellow faculty members to use are the widgets on the announcement page. My office hours are posted on a widget, which is up front, very easy to find. So if students want to reach me via Teams, they just click on that widget and I'm available. They can reach out to me outside of the office hours by making an appointment, and again use the same link on the widget feature to reach out to me, and I think that's so much easier than trying to find a link on a syllabus or another platform as to how to contact the instructor.
I give them my virtual office hours. I listed at least 3 different ways: within the syllabus, on the home page, in the announcements, and I do it under the content tab. So students know, how do I reach out to her? How do I use her as a resource? And that to me sets the tone.